President Donald Trump is on his tour of Asia and he's putting on a show every step of the way. Here he is dancing with the US Navy in Japan. Joining us now is filmmaker Ami Horowitz. Ami, great to see you in Sydney.
It's so nice to be here in person. Lovely.
Isn't it great seeing Donald Trump? He just loves getting out those dance moves. You'd almost be disappointed if he's visiting your area and then he doesn't bring them out. But he met with Japan's newly elected Prime Minister and she couldn't contain her excitement being around Donald Trump. Here she is appearing to jump for joy.
I have to say this, the first female Prime Minister in the history of Japan. Madam Prime Minister, please say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all.
The leaders signed documents declaring a golden age of the US-Japan alliance, including affirming a trade deal, lowering tariffs on Japanese goods to 15%, and pledging cooperation on rare earth and critical minerals. Now, Japan's Prime Minister informed Donald Trump that she will be nominating him for next year's Nobel Peace Prize, joining a growing list of world leaders. And now Donald Trump has, of course, vowed to be America first. He's been criticised for what he's been doing with tariffs. But he's also really kind of strengthening ties with allies around the world. And you can see other leaders falling right into line and looking at right-leaning leaders like Japan's newly elected Prime Minister, Argentina's president. Are they learning from Donald Trump?
Oh, no question about it, right? I mean, first of all, I love the fact that they were late to this press conference because they were watching the World Series together, right? By the go Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. But yeah, look, by the way, he loves the fact whatever leaders say we're nominating you for the Nobel Peace Prize, obviously. And he deserves it. Look what he's doing. Look, he's pivoted. This pivot to Asia is so interesting and so smart, right? Like, yes, we of course had the Ukraine issue, the Gaza-Israel issue, but what we need to do is contain China. And he's working around China's periphery, right? Creating and strengthening the allies. And Japan's a perfect example of that. They cut a minerals deal, which of course is, under the radar, low key. He's been doing this all over the world, making sure that, again, he blunts China's ability to chokehold the world on these rare earth minerals. He was just in Cambodia and Thailand, right? Do you know that they've been at war for 100 years? Gabriela, 100 years, they now have peace.
It's incredible.
He was incredible.
And
Malaysia,
and it gets
Indonesia.
news coverage for a day because he's doing so much right around the world. It's like another peace deal. People on CNN even dismiss them.
A day is overstated. Maybe a few minutes of airtime on CNN, maybe. Yeah, and he's doing this around the world. And you mentioned Milei, my spirit animal. I mean, yes, and look what's happening in Argentina. There's a miracle happening in Argentina right now where they have growth year over year over 6% because he is finally putting into place these capitalist free market infrastructures that South America has not had for decades, right? And what they're going to be a model for the rest of the region, saying, here's what you need to do economically. You will no longer be dependent on the US, China, and other places.
Now let's talk about New York City. We're less than a week away from New York City's mayoral election, and Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani remains in the lead despite a majority of voters apparently not convinced by some of his campaign policies. No wonder why. But this new poll by the Manhattan Institute found that Mamdani is leading with 43% of likely votes, beating Cuomo's 28% and Curtis Lewa's 19%. To recap, of course, on his policies, he wants free buses, he wants city-run groceries, he wants rent freezes, he wants to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. Can I please get all your thoughts?
Where do I start? Okay, first of all, I am now a New York refugee. I think I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to ask for asylum if he wins and not go back. A lot of things. Okay, first of all, and the list you mentioned didn't talk about the social. He has said that we want to get rid of prisons.
Yeah.
Get rid of prisons, right? He talked about, I saw a clip I never even heard before. I thought I heard them all. He was talking about how the quote was that when the NYPD boot is on your neck, it's laced by Israel. I mean, sick, anti-Semitic stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, he wants to have a housing. There's a housing crisis affordability. There is. That's true, and he's going to solve it. That is, I guarantee that because everyone's going to leave, and all his apartments open for rent. All the prices will come down, and I'll say, look. I'll tell you this about Curtis Lewa, and you mentioned the 19%, which sounds a bit high to me. I know it's the Manhattan Institute, otherwise people have him around 9 to 10%.
Right.
Look, you want my view? Look, I like Curtis. I've met him a whole bunch of times. I think he's staying in for a particular reason. I think he wants Mamdani to win. I think he wants Mamdani to win, and he becomes relevant again, which he didn't have during Bloomberg, unfortunately. And I think the more problems New York has, the more he feels there'll be a need for Curtis Lewa. It's unfortunate, but I really think that's the only reason why he would stay. If he leaves the race, polls show Mamdani will lose and Cuomo will win.
Well, could lose.
Could lose, right? But the Democratic mainstream who are endorsing them, I mean, just sit on the sidelines and abstain. But Governor Hochul, who's by most measures relatively for the Democrats, right, center, left, full-throated endorsement of this communist Marxist Mamdani. It's crazy that the Democrats are staying silent or positive on this guy.
Yeah,
it's a state of affairs in the Democratic Party.
And as you say, you've been watching a lot of clips. There's clips nearly every day of previous things that he's said, just so far left. We know he's previously called to defund the police. Anyway, a few days to go now, less than a week until those elections are held.